first part of the 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After tell-all. I already made a video talking about the part of all the cast members in the house together, so check that out if you haven't seen already. In this video, I want to solely focus on what happened like on the actual stage of the actual tell-all that's supposed to have no limit. So I will give TLC credit that they started off with Jasmine and Gino to keep things interesting, because it seems like usually they kind of start off with the more slower couples and save like the more rowdy couples for last. But they got right to Jasmine and Gino and Matt and started off things pretty drama-filled. But they start off with Jasmine and Gino talking for the first time in months, and they asked Matt how he feels seeing Gino, and Matt's like, look, I really don't have any issues with the dude. Everything's cordial. I mean, things may be cordial right now, but as soon as Matt walks away, you know he's going to be talking crap on Gino. The dude's throwing shots at Gino every chance he gets. And Gino said that he just feels like Jasmine defrauded him, and he just feels like it's not fair that she came over here and now she gets to stay here, and he feels like Matt's just getting this freebie. And Gino is just so sure that Jasmine cheated on him. He brought out these receipts at the house showing that Jasmine had been talking to Matt months before they even went to the resort. And then they asked Jasmine, what did she do with the wedding ring? And she said that she actually had the wedding ring made into diamonds for Matilda. And people were like, okay, well, how are you going to explain that to Matilda? You know, like that's supposed to be a wedding ring that you had from Gino, and then, you know, explain all the messiness. I mean, I'm sure she's going to find out either way since all this messiness was filmed on national TV. But regardless, but I don't know, for some reason I thought like if things don't work out in a marriage, you get the ring back. But I was actually looking at the comments, and a lot of people were siding with Jasmine, not giving the ring back. You guys let me know how you feel about that. I've never been married before, but I guess people were trying to say, oh, if you're engaged and things don't work out, you should give the ring back. But if you're married, no, you should keep it. So I don't know how it really supposed to go, but Jasmine doesn't seem like she's trying to give the ring back. She told Gino if he wants the earrings back, then he's free to take them, and he just got kind of quiet. I mean, if that was Gino, I would have been like, okay, go ahead and give me the earrings. I'll take them. But, I mean, even then, I'm sure Jasmine would have came up with another excuse like, oh, well, I don't got them, or they're in Panama, or come up with something crazy to avoid having to give the earrings to Gino. Then they showed a clip of Gino sitting down with Jasmine, and Jasmine came and told him, hey, I'm pregnant with Matt's baby. And, you know, I got a little refresher of my thoughts when I actually was watching that clip. Whenever she told him that she was pregnant, afterwards, Gino was like, well, is that all? And it really seemed like if she would have said, oh, I'm pregnant with Matt's baby, if she would have turned around and been like, hey, but I still want to work on things, I feel like Gino would have gave her another chance at that point. I feel like he was trying to leave that door open and see where her head was at, but he saw at that moment that she really didn't have no interest in opening that door back up. And so she starts crying after they show a confessional where Gino starts breaking down crying, and you can just see how hurt he is to find out that Jasmine's pregnant with Matt's baby, because he knows that things are pretty much done for good. Like, this relationship has hit a point of no return. Like, if they were to get back together, there's been so much pain and suffering done on both ends at this point that I don't think they would ever be able to fully get over it. So he's realizing that, and he starts breaking down, and he was like, Jasmine's just so evil. She never loved me. And usually Gino communicates how he feels in anger by screaming and calling her a fraud, but this time he's actually breaking down, and Jasmine was forced to watch Gino and him break down crying, and she starts breaking down crying. And I don't think Jasmine really feels bad. I mean, I'm sure maybe she feels a little bad, but I don't think she is that hurt to the point where she's crying like she's trying to put on. I think she's just like in victim mode. Like, as soon as she knows she does something that makes her look bad, either she instantly starts trying to scream over that person so they can't spit facts, Or she instantly starts playing victim, like, poor me, you know, I may have done that, but poor me, to make people stop feeling sorry for Gino and make people start feeling sorry for her. And other people started pointing that out. And Gino said, look, I'm not falling for this shit anymore. I may have fallen for your crocodile tears in the past, which that's exactly what I feel like they are, but I'm not going to fall for them this time. And then after Jasmine heard that, her tears dried up real quick. Then Sean asked Matt and Jasmine about Matt's proposal, and Jasmine was asked like why she decided to not say yes, and it's because like she doesn't really like Matt like that. And she's like, no, I love Matt, but she won't say like she's in love with Matt. She's like, I love Matt in my own special way. Like it almost sounds like she's describing like a family member or brother or something, not the man that she literally has been living with and just had a baby with. She just kind of kept talking in circles. She really wasn't giving any clear answers. And then Matt was like, well, I want to know, like, if you're not going to marry me now, are you at least going to be willing to marry me in the future? Like, I know that you're still married now, but can you at least promise that to me in the future? And Jasmine was like, I don't know. And then other people were like being realistic, like, okay, if you're going to be so unsure with Matt, so are you saying it's okay for him to go be with other women? Because honestly, if you can't give this man a title, like, why are you keeping him from being happy? But the thing is, I think it's like one of several reasons. One, I think she doesn't want to admit that she wants to eventually marry Matt. I think it has to do with immigration. I think she fears if she admits that she wants to marry him, or if she tells him, yes, I'll marry you, then that will be used against her in court when it comes to fighting immigration, because we've heard Gino say that he's already reported her to immigration, and that may not look the best for her. I mean, there's already a lot of things that don't look the best for her, but I think adding an engagement or marriage on top of that right now is not going to look good, and she knows better than that. Like, Jasmine is very calculated, but then she also keeps playing it off like she doesn't really, she loves him, but doesn't love him. But you can see it all in her eyes. Like, she's always constantly giving him puppy eyes, and she looks at him in a way that we really didn't see her ever look at Gino. Like, she lights up when she looks at him. But I think Matt just doesn't have enough money for her at the end of the day. I think she sees him like as a stepping stone for right now, but I don't think she's seeing him as like long term. She was trying to make it sound like it wasn't about him. It was just because she doesn't want to get married. She's like, oh, it's not that I don't want to marry you. I just don't want to get married. But you can't get this man like no clear answers if you want to be with him long term in the future. It's like, you know, if that's the right person, when you know, you know. But I feel like she doesn't want to make any promises that she knows she may not end up keeping in the long run. And then they end up having Natalie come out. And Natalie comes out swinging. She sits there and confronts Jasmine, and she wants to know why Jasmine decided to push her, because she's like, look, I can understand why you kind of you were frustrated with me, but at the end of the day, I really didn't have any idea what was going on, so your anger should have been directed at Gino, not at me. And she's like, and I don't understand why you're gonna come in here and push me with all this security, because I promise you if the security wasn't around, I would have had you on the floor. And Jasmine didn't want to hear anything that Natalie had to say. Like I said earlier, anytime you start spitting facts to Jasmine, she wants to instantly interrupt somebody, talk over somebody, and then once Jasmine realized that she really didn't have the energy to keep talking, she just starts being immature, saying la 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 la, I can't hear you, trying to do anything to drown out Natalie so they can't hear Natalie expose how stupid Jasmine was for pushing Jasmine that night. Like, really, Jasmine just wanted to see, and she's just trying to be a reality TV sensation. I think she's trying to get picked up. You know, the more of a villain you are, the more likely you're going to get picked up for other shows. She wants to get picked up on Villains or Traitors or one of the other shows like on Fox or something. She's trying to get on some other shows besides 90 Day Fiance. I think that's why she's really upping it up with the antics, like destroying Gino's belongings and you know, doing all this stuff with Natalie and all that. But she ended up not wanting to hear what Natalie had to say, and Natalie got up and tried to get in her face and tell her what she wanted to say. And then Jasmine just walked off. I really wish the security guards would have just taken a step back and just let Natalie get one lick back, or just let him get like 30 seconds on the clock with no security guards. Like, I mean, they protect Jasmine so much, but it's like everybody else they don't give a damn about. I mean, Natalie was calling out Jasmine. She's like, this is exactly what she does. She walks off when she can't handle it, when she knows she's hearing the truth. And I agree with Natalie exactly. Like, Natalie was reading her to filth and she wasn't trying to hear it. And the biggest shocker to me was the fact that Natalie is 53 years old. Like, she looks good. Like, I thought she was like in her mid-40s. I don't blame her for not wanting to deal with all this stupid drama in your mid-50s. I wouldn't want to be dealing with all that either. She's too grown. She's probably has a million better things she can do. And I think, honestly, she dodged a major bullet with Gino. I think, in my opinion, she's way too good for Gino. She's way too pretty. She seems like she's stable. It seems like Gino likes them like a little emotionally damaged and in a position where he can kind of feel like he's in control. And I don't think Natalie's that at all. Natalie's a very independent woman that don't need no man. And then we see Gino's family come out. Well, his cousins. They had like Gino's cousin Dana and his wife. And then they had Gino's, I think, his nephew. And I'm glad they brought his nephew because, you know, his cousin and his wife, they weren't writing for Gino. They're pretty much on Jasmine's side because they're Jasmine's BFF. So it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if you have all the evidence, if all the proof is in the pudding and you're showing it to Gino's cousin, they're still going to find a way to side with Jasmine. Like, no matter what you tell them about Gino, they're going to try whatever they can to misunderstand it because they don't want to understand it. They don't want Gino to be right. They want to be on Jasmine's side and see her as a victim because that's Michelle's BFF right there. And it sounds like Gino's cousin Dana is getting pretty close with Matt himself because they're all buddy-buddy on the stage. And they come out and they call out Gino. They're like, Gino, the first week you were in, or the first week Jasmine was in the United States, he claims Gino told him that he wanted Jasmine to go back to Panama. He didn't even want her here. And Gino was like, that don't make any sense at all. Why would I go through all that? And why would she still be here to this day if that was the case? And it's like, yeah, I just feel like they're reaching for straws at this point, trying to find anything to justify what's going on. And honestly, like, I'm glad that they brought one of Gino's family members, his nephew, to at least side with him. Like, the whole time when Gino's cousin was going to bat for Jasmine, Gino's cousin, his nephew, was stepping in and he's like, no, Jasmine's a fraud, Jasmine's a cheater, everything Jasmine says is cap. And he was agreeing and pretty much saying everything Natalie was saying, that anytime you say anything that she doesn't want to hear, she walks off, she storms off. And Gino and his cousin went back and forth, and at one point it looked like they're about to get in each other's faces and almost seemed like a fight was going to pop off, but security stopped that real quick. Honestly, it's really sad that Gino's marriage with Jasmine has caused a rift between him and his cousins, but I think that's kind of just showing his cousin's true colors, and that he really doesn't need them in his life anyways, that they're not going to have his back. Then Brandon jumped in and he said, look, what do we need to do to fix this? Like, this has to stop. Like, we have to be able to come to some kind of solution. Like, we may not walk away on good terms and we may not get everything figured out today, but let's at least figure out, like, what needs to be done, because just going back and saying you're a fraud, you're a scammer, you're a cheater, you're a bad husband, none of that is gonna help at the end of the day. We're just going in circles. Like, let's come to some kind of resolution. Like, he's like, seems to be the only one thinking clearly here. And Jasmine said, Gino already told me. He said the only way he's gonna take his foot off my neck and that he'll leave me alone and be satisfied is if I deport myself and go back to Panama. And she's like, look, I'm not willing to do that because if I deport myself, then I can't take my daughter with me, and there's no guarantee that I'll be able to come back. But I mean, I feel like she should be able to come back. I mean, shouldn't Matt be able to start the process with her if she used to deport herself? Like, maybe she doesn't think Matt would be able to afford it, but I mean, if he can afford a $100,000 tow truck, you think he'd be able to afford that? I don't know. I know Gino can't get no more visas because his lawyer said he's already used his 2K1 visas that he's allowed. But I mean, you would think that if she moved back that she would be able to come back and they would be able to start like the 90-day visa process. But I mean, I don't really know how that works for someone who's already been in the United States, got married, and somebody who went back. I mean, I feel like it looked better on her if she was to go back and she could go see her sons and her mom for a little while and then come back. But I also understand how scary it is that you may not be able to come back and see your daughter. Let's be honest, I don't feel like she wants to leave America and like that would be an option, because I feel like she feels like she finally has it all. She's living the American dream and she does not want to give that all up. And I don't think she feels 100% confident that Matt would be able to get her back over here. I mean, we kind of heard from Matt's sister and mother that he's kind of a man-child. Who knows if he'd even know how to do all the freaking paperwork. I mean, Gino struggled with it. I'm sure he would. But hey, maybe he might actually remember to include Jasmine's kids in the paperwork, unlike Gino. But Jasmine keeps claiming that her sons are supposed to be coming over like in the next year or two, and she claims that Matt's going to be adopting them. But I don't know when that's supposed to happen because she keeps saying it as of recently, but I also remember her saying the same thing a year ago and her claiming that the boys were going to be with them in a year. So I don't know, maybe it'll eventually happen. It'd be nice to see her finally have all her kids in one roof. But that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.